I'm waiting on my periscopers. Now I'm gonna flip you around. Hi guys. So I am live in my kitchen and I'm actually propping you up on my cactus. So if you fall down, hi. Hi Mike Keeley. Miss Kara, Pretty Simple Cakes. I love when you guys call me Miss Kara. But totally unnecessary because I like to keep things really on the down low here. Hi Jen. So we're going to make Swiss Meringue Buttercream. But as I was gathering my ingredients for you, yeah, I realized I was out of white sugar, white granulated sugar. So, hi Divinely Dolce and Mindy Campbell. So I looked around my kitchen and thought, well, this is for my son's birthday cake. And in general, he doesn't care. He's got high standards, but he really doesn't care if I experiment on him. So we are going to do a traditional Swiss meringue buttercream with Turbinado Sugar. Not brown sugar, Turbinado. It's different. Brown sugar is white granulated sugar. Hey! I can't see the names easily. I need a tablet. Somebody told me to get a tablet. Somebody told my husband to get me a tablet. So brown sugar is nothing more than white granulated sugar that still has some molasses left in it from the extraction process. Light and dark refer to how much molasses is left in there. Molasses comes from sugarcane. But this, I don't know if you can see it, this is turbinado. These granules are distinctly bigger. Let me see if I can get it closer. I do stuff for Depressed Cake Shop. They are my heart. They're a very special group. And to be able to use cake and sweets and deliciousness to promote and to bring awareness. I'm talking to Bipolar Mom, by the way, guys. Bipolar Mom Life. To be able to use my passion for something that I feel so strongly about to promote it is really freaking awesome. I'm trying to be a little quiet. I have the kidlets behind me and I try to manage my behavior around them. So this, can you see it? Is the camera gonna show you? Probably not. But they're big. I mean, they're big granules. Almost like coarse sanding sugar. So that's turbinado. It's a little less processed and it also tends to be a little less sweet. And so we're going to get started and see how that works. So I've got my bowl and I got my kitchen scale. I have had this kitchen scale since culinary school. It's like my best friend in the kitchen. And to be honest, I don't like measuring things without it. If I can avoid any kind of volume measures, I do so. So we're going to be using the SMBC. Where in Western New York am I located? Well, if you're familiar with Western New York, very specifically Kenmore, town of Tonawanda. I'm right inside town of Tonawanda. That weird little area where it's called Buffalo, but technically it's in the town of Tonawanda, but still more technically a male is Kenmore. It's that little bizarre triangle area. It's like the Bermuda Triangle of Western New York. It's kind of ridiculous. So we're going to start with eggs. I forgot my own ratios. I think it's 6.5 ounces. Someone want to check my blog? Never mind. I can't send you away from this. I'll go check my blog. Hang on. Haha! I had it right. 6.5 ounces of egg whites. So I'm going to crack them fresh. Can you use pasteurized? Yeah. It's fine. But oh, I love seeing egg yolks. I don't know why. Now you remember. What do you remember? Bipolar Mom Life. Is it something I should be remembering? Because I have a really poor memory, especially now that I have kids. So each egg white in a large egg is typically just a little bit over a weighed ounce. It's about 1.1 ounces. After 3, I have 3.3 ounces in here, so I'm really just going to use 6 eggs. No, I'm not saving the yolks. I really should, but then again, I really shouldn't because I'll do something like make custard. Hi, Tori. You're 3 years old and you love cake? Hi. Do you help your mom make cake? I hope you do. Cake is fun. What's your favorite kind of cake, Tori? First time watching. Well, hello, first timer. Newbie here. Awesome. Okay, so I've got 5.7 ounces. I'm just going to go ahead and add one more. Even though, yeah, chocolate. Good girl. That's actually what I made today. And the meringue that I'm making, the Swiss Meringue Buttercream I'm making to go with that chocolate cake. Oreo. Yep. My kid is pretty darn cool. He loves this kind of stuff. I'm still here. I'm just washing my hands. What was I talking about? You guys are really like stepping into my kitchen. This was very impromptu. I didn't plan this. I've been watching Periscopes all day because that's what we do in Western New York when it's completely rainy outside. Well, it's not really Periscope. Aw, thanks, Bipolar Mom Life. I think I know how you found me. My something personal vlog. Okay, so I've got my 6.5 ounces, and I'm going to use 10 ounces. Kids slamming doors. Call me Jen. You got it, Jen. So, kids slamming more doors. It is funky out, but it's a nice change from the constant humidity and the heat. So 10 ounces, weighed ounces of turbinado sugar. Always make sure you tear your scale back to 0 in between adding ingredients. Sometimes I forget to do that. I'm like, really? There's only like a drop of sugar in there and I need 40 ounces. So yeah, I'm excited to see if this works too. So we'll see. I mean, it looks distinctly different in the bowl. Here, I'll let you guys see. I mean, obviously that's not what white sugar, oh, there we go, would look like in a bowl. So, I gotta find there's my whip attachment. So I do this the old school way. I put it over heat on the stove. I have a boiling pot of water. Well, it was boiling. I turned it off. So I have it boiling on the stove. And, oh, I forgot to add my meringue powder. No biggie. So meringue powder, 12.6 grams. Let's make it 12 or 13. Don't go crazy. You're in Westchester? Hey, so I used to live in Putnam. 4 years. Still have family and friends there, and I do miss that area very, very much. I love the proximity to New York City because, man, it's the meeting place of the world, right? And everybody comes through New York City at one point or another, and when they do, you're right there to go have dinner or coffee or macaroons. Yeah, NYC, right? Oh, Sachiko! Guys, Sachiko! Do you guys know her? Follow her. She does tutorials all the time on the amazing, amazing little figurines that she does out of sugar. Yeah, everybody loves her because you should love her. Okay, we're back to a boil over here, and I got my meringue powder in. So, I'm going to take this over to the stove. I don't know, can you guys see me over here? You can see me over here. Perfect. Here, I'll turn you down a little bit more. I'm actually... You are propped, if you weren't here just before, you're propped against my cactus. I have a gigantic cactus in my kitchen because why not? Yeah. And so it's going to stab me every single time I move, you guys. But here, I am over top of my boiling pot of water with this here. That's close enough. And when you put it in here, when you put it over your pot, you need to keep it moving because your egg whites, if they sit too long against a hot spot of the pot, that was fun to say. Say that 10 times fast. If they sit against a hot spot of the pot for too long, they'll come up to their coagulation temperature, which starts around about 160. Once it hits about 165, there's kind of no slowing it down to get to 180 where it does coagulate, and then you get scrambled egg whites. So once you put it on the heat, you got to keep it moving, especially if you're using a pot like this. Like I'm doing this right in my KitchenAid, and mine is not the one with the little lowering arm lever thingamabobber. Mine is the old artisan style, I think, and it has that really thick bottom. That thick bottom is going to grab tons and tons and tons of heat, and then it's going to hold it. So you're going to constantly have this very, very high temperature residual heat source right at the bottom of your meringue. So even when you get to that point of ready to move over to your stand mixer, you need to keep your hand moving and transitioning over there. It's just the safest thing to do. Nobody wants scrambled eggs in their buttercream. Hands up if you want scrambled eggs in your buttercream. Exactly. You guys are smart. Anyone know how we're going to determine when this is ready to go over to the stand mixer? How do you know when it's ready? I kind of did it a little bit just now. No one? No one? Guys, come on. Okay, so technically you'll get a lot of people who will like to say, okay, well, as per food health standards, you need to temp it with a thermometer, digital thermometer. And hang on one second on those peaks, remind me. And make sure it's at 160. Some people say, oh, no, I'll go as low as 150. I say I do it like old school French pastry chefs, and the way that I was taught by some of the best in the industry. You stick your finger in there. Yes. Very good. Pretty simple cakes. Stick your finger in there, and if your sugar granules are melted, you're good to go. You do want to be sure. I had this guy named Chef Weber. I'm still stirring with my hand, by the way, because I don't want to turn the mixer on. It'll get too loud. I had this chef in pastry school, Chef Stéphane Weber. Super cool guy. Literally a French chef. Came from France. And he taught us you're looking for two things. One, no more granules. You can't feel anything in your fingers when you dip a finger in there. Two, you should be able to hold your finger in for 3 seconds and no more. That's about the heat tolerance telling you it's hot enough. If you can hold your finger in there longer, chances are you're closer to 115, and that's not hot enough for all your sugar granules to dissolve. But if after 3 seconds it's just definitely not comfortable anymore, good to go. I know we all have different heat tolerances, but in general, that's a good general rule of thumb. Okay. I'm going to turn my mixer on. It's going to get loud, but I'll put your faces in there for a second. Face maker. Watch out, guys. All right. Oh, would it help if I plugged it in, right? Anyone else do this crap? Oh, I'm supposed to be watching my mouth. Oh, thank you. You're the best, too, for hanging out here and playing with me. I love having playmates in sugar. Really? You're not going to believe what I just did. I pulled the wrong lever and thought I didn't have it plugged in. I had it plugged in the right way the first time. Okay, here we go. Haha, there. Okay. So I'm going to flip you around so you can see what's going on inside my bowl. See how it's nice and brown and molassesy? I think that might actually be really, really delicious inside the dark chocolate cake. So I'm going to turn this up, and we're just going to step away until it gets really happy. Oh yeah, I'm putting it on high. Craziness going on in the kitchen. Okay, so can you guys hear me okay, or is this really loud? Let me know. I'm going to keep talking because hi, Jen from Cake Fest. That was, oh, I'm dropping things now. Loud and clear. Fabulous. You know why? Oh wait, I lost my spot in my cactus. Because we can just kind of play right now while that's coming up to the consistency. And I'm going to cut up my butter while we're doing this. Now, if you've seen my blog, washing my hands again, so maybe on my side. If you've seen my blog, you know that I use butter and a little bit of shortening. In one batch, I use a full pound of butter, and I use a little shortening because it helps to stabilize it heat-wise, just a little. Also, the meringue powder, that's why you like it. You like my vanilla cake? I actually, I took my vanilla cake this afternoon and I swapped just out some of the flour for some cocoa powder to see how it works transitioning that simple way to chocolate. I'll let you guys know how it goes. I have them out of the oven. You want to go see them? Let's go see them. All right. Oh, come. My bench is really, really, really messy. But, oh yeah, super, super high. Super square. This is my vanilla cake. I flipped them over onto the rack and then back over. You see this right here? You guys want to know what really happened? Okay, confessional time. That little divot in the top of that cake, I went to show my brother the cake in the pan, and I almost dropped the pan because it was hot. Thank you. because it was super hot. I almost dropped it. And then I went to go catch it, and I went to catch it with two hands like this, and I stuck one of my knuckles. Actually, I stuck my whole hand into the top of the cake, and I knew better. You know when you have that little thing in your head going, I really shouldn't do this? Yeah, that's what was happening, and I did it anyways. Every single time, without fail. Okay. I'm gonna set you back down so I can do my butter. Butter. Thank you, cactus. I knew this cactus was good for something other than just stabbing me routinely. I have really weird reactions to it stabbing me too, not just screaming and cursing it out. I pop up weird. Then again, I guess that's self-defense. So I'm using unsalted butter. Unsalted butter. We'll add a little salt to the buttercream at the end when we're tasting it. But the reason, a lot of people say, well, do I have to use unsalted butter when I'm baking? Yes. Yes, you do. Okay, no, you don't have to. The unsalted butter police are not going to come get you. But the reason we do it is because you can never control or truly know how much salt is in a batch of butter. I'm rubbing a little bit of butter on the outside of my hands when it gets on my hands. Keeps your skin super, super smooth. Yes, you'll wash your hands anyways, but that little bit of fat getting in there, great hands. So you can control the amount of salt or know the amount of salt that's in a stick of butter or in a batch of butter or between brands. And if you really want to be an expert at controlling the flavor of your baked goods, do it yourself. Measure your own sugar. Know that you have exactly 3/4 of a teaspoon of sugar, or excuse me, salt in something you're making, rather than leaving it up to the manufacturers. Because what if someone was feeling cheap that day and decided, well, I'm like, we're going to put in half the amount of salt, or someone else was having some cravings and went, oh, salt. Okay, it doesn't happen, but you want to control stuff. Or maybe that's just me. I'm a bit of a control freak. So I'm going to cut these just into, granted this is really soft, I'll show you this. I'm just cutting these, each one of these into about 5 pieces. Normally my butter is a little colder than this. It's been sitting out a little longer than I usually have patience to take it out, so no big deal. Let me measure my my shortening real quick, so I can just start dumping it all in. As I'm waiting and listening to my mixer, I'm watching the peaks, and yes, it comes up to stiff peak. What I'm really looking for, though, is not that it's stiff peak. It's that the outside of the bowl has cooled to pretty much room temperature. Peaks like that really only matter with uncooked egg whites. I mean, I don't think you're ever going to whip a cooked meringue to anything less than its full stiff peak. But like if you're making like homemade pancakes, like I make these really great gossamer griddle cakes that requires, you know, whipped egg whites. It tells you stiff but not dry. Some will say medium peak, but you know, when you're doing a cooked meringue, especially for Swiss Meringue Buttercream, you're going to be whipping it till it's cool on the outside of the bowl to the touch, which is, that's as stiff meringue as you get, but it's not going to dry out because it has the sugar cooked into it. I need a bowl, hang on. Good to go. Just doing 100 grams. Technically it's 101 grams of shortening. Oh, hey, what do you guys think of the whole shortening thing in the United States? The no trans fats in 3 years? Oh, there are some people up in arms about their American style buttercream. What do you guys think? Should we be deciding what we put into our food and into our faces, or do you think it's a good thing? Let me know. Tell me. Type. No one's typing. Are you guys all being PC? Politically correct? Okay, you can do that. Me, on the other hand, I'm highly opinionated. Doesn't bother me. I don't use it often. You know what? I really don't either. For no reason. I'm not opposed to it. Oh, off my finger. Ah, 101 on the dot. Let's see. I think it's ridiculous. We should decide. For the most part, that's me exactly. I use butter anyways. Mostly butter. Yep, me too. as long as labeling is done ethically. I agree. I think this is very much a foodie thing. Like people who really love to make foods for other people and cook and bake and are most definitely in the sales portion of the industry. People should decide what they want to put in their faces and in their bodies. And we should always be very honest about what we're giving them. I have some very distinct philosophies about that. Let me show you what I got going on over here now. A whole lot of mess, a whole lot of craziness, because this is just how I cake. There's the cactus. Say hi. Okay, so these are my butter sticks of butter. You can hear Munchie in the background being a monster. Hey! Shush! So these are my butter sticks. Just have them cut up, ready to go. You can see my buttercream. I know it's a little bit yellowish light here right now, but this is actually that kind of almost champagne-y rich color. It's really not white at all. And there's, oh, it jumped up to 102 grams. You lie. You lie. Never mind, you're my friend. Okay. So, yeah. So, the meringue I used, I actually found this. A lot of people grab Wilton, and I have no opposition to Wilton. I didn't have any on hand, and I found this in my grocery store, and I've never seen it in my grocery store before. So, I grabbed this. And then I forgot I had it for about 2 months. And then I found it again and got all sorts of happy. So we're going to use that. So, butter. And now this is just about there. But actually, what's really strange is I find that the bowl will still maintain its heat, even though I will test the meringue and it feels room temperature. So, I have a little trick I use. Follow me. Frozen veggies, or the soft, mushy ice packs. Watch what I do. I'm very impatient. Sorry if I'm making anyone nauseous with my wandering around. So I take this, and I literally just kind of hold it against the bowl with my hand. I mean, really, that's all I do. And it just brings down the temperature a little quicker. No, it doesn't affect the consistency of the meringue. No, it's not going to change anything. It's simply going to... Smarty pants! Ha! Avalon! Hello! Hello! I miss you. That was my other half for the last week, who I'm in withdrawal from. I told someone the other day that I went to bed next... Avalon and I shared a room. Okay, fine, we shared a bed. But that's because we had to. The house was packed that we were staying in. So I told someone the other day that I had said to my husband when laying down in bed next to him for the first time in a week, hey, so you're a lot hairier and you don't smell nearly as nice as Avalon. Yeah, I got in a little trouble for that one. But he knows who he married. It's a little weird. Okay, so this has pulled a bit of heat out of here already. It really wasn't all that warm, so I'm going to put my ice pack back in my freezer. Welcome to my freezer. Bottled Avalon. That's not gross at all. Okay, so I'm going to turn this down. That's been on high this whole time. I'm turning it down. Actually, I'm turning it off. What am I talking about? Let's see here. I gotta find my paddle. Where is it? Hang on 1 second, guys. Okay. Paddle attachment. We're switching over to the paddle attachment now. Send you some? How about I just make some with you and we do a fun tutorial when I'm there in August. Hey guys, I'm going to be in Denver in August. Guess what that might mean? It's not just that I'm hanging out with and playing with Avalon. Even though that's probably 51% of my excitement about going. Okay. This is the part where we try not to lick all that extra Swiss Meringue Buttercream off of there. However, I am going to try it. I'm going to try it because this is different than, I mean, it looks crystal white right there. It's really not. It's a little creamier, kind of champagne-y, like I said. Did Kara just confuse me with Avalon? Oh no! Liz, did I do it? I don't think I did. Did I? Maybe. Okay, so I swear I'm not teasing you guys very much. That's interesting. It's a really rich flavor. It's actually a really good base flavor. I don't think I'll be using vanilla with that, actually. Because remember, I'm putting the Oreos in there, too. Come visit you next? Oh, most certainly. Road trip! Cakey road trip. I think we should do something like that. Like, I think it's in September. A whole bunch of Australian cakers are coming to New York City. They're doing a cake crawl in the U.S. So I think maybe just U.S. cakers and bakers and cake enthusiasts and people in general who are super cool. I think we should just do a cake crawl across the states. Okay, so I'm turning this back on, but just to low. Here, let me turn you around a little bit. Does the meringue make it more stable? Yes, that's exactly what the meringue does. It stabilizes it, as does the shortening a little bit. And since I'm doing a carved cake with this, I want that because I want that. I haven't used my vanilla cake mix. North Central Florida. I've gotten some requests from Florida. That's on my radar. Hopefully for 2016. So I haven't used my vanilla cake recipe, which I've translated to a chocolate cake recipe today, just to see what it does. Because again, I'm experimenting on my son, who you can see wandering around in the background right now. So I'm going to see how that works for carving, because some people have asked. So his cake is my guinea pig. I'm trying a lot of things with this stuff so I can report back to you. I have very different recipes that I typically use for my carved cakes. The vanilla cake that I've formulated, I use for tiered cakes because it's a beautiful tiered cake recipe. But we're going to see now how sturdy it is for carving. So let me flip you around. So I'm going to start with my shortening. And for the most part, I'm adding it gradually, little chunks at a time. But I am not doing a ton of meringue, so I don't have to go crazy slow. I'm not worried about things splashing out the side. I did, however, multiply my recipe earlier by 1.5, my cake batter, and it went everywhere. That's what I get for being impatient. So, butter. So while I'm doing this stuff, guys, if you've got questions, let me have them. Someone was asking the other day if I like beer. No, kind of. But if you know me, you know I'm a wine kind of girl. Yeah, it's mostly wine. So hang on 1 second, because I need to flip this around and just get my butter in there. One-handed caking is not terribly easy. It's a fun adventure, though. So I'm getting my butter in there. And because there is a little bit of residual heat in there, do I keep my finished cake in the fridge when using Swiss icing? Yes, for the most part. No, yes, all the time. Garbage run. I'm back. Quick garbage run. So, yes, I do keep it in the fridge. It's just what I was trained, and especially in summer heat like we have right now, it's too much to leave it out for very long. And it's not a food safety reason that I keep it in the fridge. If I had perishable ingredients in there, absolutely, that would be my number one concern. But my reason for keeping it in the fridge is so that it's workable. So once that meringue buttercream starts to get soft, you're going to start to get squishing. Granted, after you've got your ganache coat, if that's what you use on the outside, or your fondant on there, you really don't have to worry about squishing. If you're doing something after that point, after you've fondanted your cake to make it squish, we got to have a talk about how nice you aren't being to your cakes. Don't make me have a talk with you. If you've watched any of my posts on Facebook or on my blog, you'll see that when my kids get talkings to, it's enjoyable for adults because I make it humorous for me, but they don't enjoy it. So don't be on the receiving end of one of my be nice to cake talks. Okay, so let me flip this around. Oh, not stop broadcast. Okay. Ooh. Are you guys still there? Am I still here? Tap down to stop. Double tap. Are you guys still there? Are we still going? What did I do? I can't see stuff. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm still new to Periscope. What kind of shortening is good for your recipe? I just use Crisco. Granted, this is the store brand. This is the store brand that I'm using, but it's pretty much Crisco. A lot of people like to use things like, oh, okay, good, you're all still there. Yay. A lot of people like to use things like Trex or Sweetex. Those are perfectly fine too. Now, I just put these in and you'll notice, let me turn it off for a second. You'll notice it's loose and looks grainy. That's normal. No high ratio, but not for any reason, to be honest. I don't use it because it's not available in my grocery store, and I don't have any very specific reason for needing high ratio in particular. So for no reason than that. So now I'm going to turn this back on. Actually, I'm going to scrape that bowl down real quick. My son did all my dishes today. That's why it looks like this. So oh, thanks to kids helping. I'm doing air quotes around the word helping. So I'm scraping down my bowl. Scrape down your bowls, guys. It's so important to get all those ingredients up. As much as you like to think you're getting to every little bit with that paddle moving around, actually, you're not. And it's not you. It's the mixer. Alrighty, so I'm going to turn this on now to about medium high, and we're going to let that go just for a little bit. And I'm actually going to go grab my Oreos. You guys will sit here breaking Oreos with me, and we'll talk more about cake. You're back in my cactus. 1 second to get Oreos. I will do my darndest to not put these in my mouth. I will not put these in my mouth. Everybody chant with me, Kara will not put these in her mouth. What are your top 3 baking books we should all have? You know what? It's not a baking book, but you need to get Harold McGee. It's kind of an encyclopedia of food. And the culinary world just needs Harold McGee. Just needs Harold McGee. And his scientific knowledge behind food. Don't put them in your mouth. I know, I'm doing good. Also, Pastry Chef's Companion is a really good one. It's just good general knowledge. Like if you need to know offhand, somebody says, you know, a specific kind of ingredient or technique, you can go there and it'll give you a very general, brief description. It's a really good, quick go-to. It's kind of like Google, but in a book. And I gotta be honest, I still love books. I love paper books. And I would also suggest, and this is not a plug, oh, it's kind of a plug, but it's also because it's my alma mater, the Baking and Pastry textbook from the Culinary Institute of America, which you can buy online. It is comprehensive, it is in-depth, and it is indispensable. I still return to my textbook routinely when I've found that I've failed at a method or really want to refresh my memory about it. I'm breaking up. Does anybody else see I'm breaking up? If I am, I can start a new one. No. Yes, I am. What was the last book? The last book was the Baking and Pastry textbook from the Culinary Institute of America. You know what? Why don't you guys wait there 1 second? I actually have all 3 of these books sitting in my bedroom, and I would bring you into my bedroom, but no. Hang on 1 second. Actually, you know what? I'm going to tap out, and I'm going to end the broadcast and restart it, because there are a number of people who are saying there's a problem. Literally about 45 seconds, and I'll be back. So wait right there.